If I don't die tonight, I'm gonna dance until I do. And if you're not too afraid, I wanna dance with you. If I'm not shot tonight, I'm shooting safe for the time.
You know, not only is this very unremarkable, you led me to believe that Ezra Miller was the singer,
Ezra does sing in this band.
was the vocalist. No, this is definitely a lady.
Ezra Miller does sing on other songs, at least.
Why didn't you give
I
me one of
thought
those? This just
I
sounds like
thought
a
I had.
bad...
Is he singing now?
Is this him? No problem.
That's him.
I wanna be straight instead. If we make it through the night.
All right.
Oh yeah, boy, that's... What would I...
Really good
what
stuff.
band... What does that sound like? It sounds like fucking...
Sounds a little bit like the extremely neutered version of Arcade Fire, like less horns. Put some horns in there, you could maybe get to Arcade Fire.
Okay.
So yeah, Ezra, huh? So you don't know anything about this?
No, I mean, whenever it's like people just start declaring that a celebrity has gone crazy, I just assume that they said like that the government's bad, or so, like what people still say. Tom Cruise has got fucked over so bad that people still just will hand wave Tom Cruise is crazy because he jumped on a couch 20 years ago to a crowd of screaming women. They were loving it. They loved every second.
He all he did was love a girl. He was in love with a lady.
And he said psychology was bullshit to Matt Lauer. And everyone's like, Tom Cruise is crazy, man. Whoa. And then like 5 years later, the entire field of psychology completely collapsed and basically like ceased to exist. So he was kind of called that one.
Uh-huh.
And fucking the only other complaint people have is like, he's too friendly and enthusiastic. It's weird. His smile's too big. It's like, so I always just imagine it's like something like that.
There we go. Okay, so we got let's see. All right, so in 2020, there was a tweet that showed Ezra Miller choking a lady and throwing her on the ground.
That could be art. That's what
2022,
it's like
Miller was
artsy.
arrested in Hawaii following an alleged physical altercation with patrons. Let's see.
I mean, Bjork did that. Who cares?
Second-degree assault
That's
for
nothing
throwing
so far.
throwing a chair at a woman and hitting her on the head with it.
Oh, okay, well, that's just cool.
Let's see.
Now we're trending upwards.
Okay. June 2022, Standing Rock Sioux Tribal Court issued a temporary order of protection against Miller on behalf of an 18-year-old activist. Her parents requested the court order due to Miller allegedly using violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusion, and drugs to sway her over. The relationship between Miller and Iron Eyes, which began in 2016 when Miller was 23 and Iron Eyes was 12, also included flying her to London.
Wait, she's
to
a
visit
12-year-old
Seth.
activist?
She's an activist now. At the time, she was a 12-year-old girl. When they first started having when they first came into contact.
When was that?
2016. He was 23.
Okay.
And then in 2017, she was 13 at this point.
Yeah.
He flew her out to be on set and then tried to have her stay with him in his room. And when they retrieved her, she had bruises. And then believed that they were transgender. Apparently, that's a recent development. let's see. He also has just been like they can't find him. He's he can't be located. I've tried to follow up on this.
The
and
stuff with the stuff with the girl is weird. But throwing chairs at women and then they just fucking smoke screen disappearing is pretty funny.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff is the disappearing to dodge the legal cases and the illicit relationship with a 12-year-old girl is the thing that people don't like, which I think is understandable. You get drunk, you get into fights, like that shit happens if you're like a wily one, especially if you're like stupid rich, which I imagine they are. Let's see. I think that's the big thing. That's because like he had been getting into fights. I mean, I think he's got like 4 or 5 at this point, where he just goes to bars, gets drunk, and fights people, which is kind of douchebag behavior. I gotta see if I can find some of these quotes. Hold on, because he was saying some crazy shit. Let's see. I think this will be the stuff that turns you on him. Let's see. Fuck off! I'm trying to read this. God damn it.
No, that's a good one. I agree with that. Is that a quote?
Let's see.
Fuck off. I'm going to throw this chair. Fuck you, dude.
Come on, where's the fucking quote here? It was something about I'm a creator of worlds and I'm like I'm like a god or something. Oh, let's see.
Dude, saying stuff like that and just throwing chairs.
Okay. She was getting choked and screaming, "That's what you wanted. That's what you wanted."
He was screaming that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't find this quote about. Can't find the quote about being a god. That's unfortunately. Oh, there's also the like so like the 18-year-old girl, the girl who was 12 at the time but is now 18. Mm-hmm. Refers to Ezra as comrade in all of her statements about Ezra, which to me I think is clear signs of like that girl's mind freaked for sure. She got Chris Angel. She got Chris Angel mind freaked if you're calling somebody comrade.
This is a total psycho. Like, do we have proof? Do we have plane tickets? Do we have receipts? Does she actually even go? Because this is just a crazy person.
No, she's on Ezra's side. She's with Ezra. Her parents are the ones her parents are the one alleging the wrongdoing, but the girl is saying that Ezra showed her the way or something. Let's see. This was a lot easier to find earlier. Let's see what we know about the allegations. Let's see.
Yeah, it's like that almost seems too weird to be sexual, if that makes any sense. It's like if you just wanted to stealthily bang a tween, you wouldn't be like teaching them Maoist language. You would just be like, all right, get the fuck out, go, don't text me.
No, I think he's in it. I think he's in there.
You think he's dedicated?
I think so. I think he's committed to this teenager. Yeah, he refused to leave the bar after throwing that chair at that lady. I will bury you in your slut wife, he yelled.
Hell
at them.
Stop making him sound cool. He's some kind of hypnotic pedophile. He's some kind of communist hypnotism pedophile. The chair throwing's great. I'm all for that.
Yeah, they were feeding this teenager LSD and stuff.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Who said that? Did she say that they did that?
Let's see.
This is why we got to prepare stories before the podcast. We were late because
it only came to light recently.
No, it's been 8 years.
Well, no, I'm saying I didn't think I was gonna have to give you the full rundown. I thought you had heard about this.
Well, I thought you knew. That's why I thought you were going to tell me, but now you have to.
Well, these are the allegations.
Yeah. Yeah, we were, we don't podcast for so long, and then as soon as we're about to start, they fucking shoot Abe. They get us right in the, they get us right where it hurts. They got our weak spot.
Well, Japan they're looking out for us because they know things have been a little dicey. Things have been a little.
They get a little dicey.
Things have been a little wild, and maybe we need to take a second to watch somebody else for a bit because all the eyes have been on us for a little bit, just because we got a bunch of people shooting kids, and it's like, I understand that's sad. Let's look at Japan for a bit. It's a problem over there. Yeah, let's take a look inside at the old Japanese, the old Nihon, as they say. Hey, Declan, I think this Shinzo Abe guy, he's going to need to find himself an Isha. You know what I mean? I'm learning that Japanese.
You didn't tell me what that one was. Is that a hospital? Is that a doctor?
Isha's a doctor.
Ah, okay.
Which I always thought they just called doctors sensei. I guess that's when you're addressing them.
Well, yeah, that's the honorific. Yeah, man, fucking 100 Gex is are gonna fucking bring they're gonna bring Scar 30s to an aquarium and just mow down a bunch of fat people.
I think
we got SoundCloud trannies just mowing down a fucking God's people.
I gotta say, I think that we can all say that this story about Shinzo Abe getting shot is the craziest thing that's happened in the last 10 years, and that's
hours.
Let's just 10, 20. Honestly, I mean, we should probably define this entire decade based on this alone, and not at all look at what's going on in our own culture.
Book, throw it out because it's worthless.
Yeah, everything you want.
Can you summarize it in a word? No. A sound? Ugh.
Day one of class. I can summarize it in a sound. It's like,
we're in year AA0 after Abe.
Yep.
Or no, it's still AD, but it's Abe death. Sorry.
They're gonna blame this on us somehow. This is gonna come back to us. I can feel it.
If it's a fucking American who's like, I fucking got that fucking, I fucking got Abe, you piece of shit. He brought his gun on the plane.
Disgruntled gaijin.
He buried it 20 years ago. He's been planning ever since.
Well, it's probably one of those motherfuckers that was on an island somewhere after World War II that finally swam to shore, and he got upset that nobody came and contacted him, and he was the most visible celebrity they could find.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what anyone in Japan could be angry about. It's someone who's disgruntled about like the power of the yen and didn't realize that Abe is no longer working for the government.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Or just like a totally schizophrenic, a totally crazy guy.
If Japan figures out about incels, that's bad news. That's a lot of them over there.
Oh, they have those. Once they find a word for them, it's gonna be like an ancient Rome or Greece or whatever. When it's like when they didn't call them slaves because then they would know how many there were. It'd be like that. It's like they don't want a word for that, and that'd be uncomfortable. One of the most entertaining movie plot summaries I read recently, because I don't watch movies anymore. I just read the plots, and I'm just as enthralled. And there's a movie called, what was it called? It's called The Guilty. I think it was like a Danish movie. You know that one?
I don't know that particular movie, but the Danes make themselves.
There was a remake with fucking not Gosling. Who was in it? Some American. Apparently, it wasn't as good. But it's. I mean, I'm going to spoil the whole thing. But the whole thing takes place in one room, and it's a 911 call operator. But he has been placed there because he's a cop who's been accused of shooting like a kid. But he gets wrapped up in this crazy dramatic 911 call where like this wife has been taken hostage by her husband and he's driving in a car and she's like freaking out and he's telling her what to do and she's giving him like hints as to where they are without like alerting her husband and everything, and it's like really tense because you're just hearing it all over the phone. And then at one point he has his the cops visit their house to make sure their kids are okay and their son's been killed, so he's like, oh shit, the husband's murdered the son, like she has to get the fuck out of there, like he's off the deep end. So he has over the phone he has her like hit him in the head with a brick and run away, and she's like, I'm just glad my boy's safe. And the 911 the call operator's like, I'm sorry, man, he's not safe. And she's like, no, I got the snakes out of him, I cut his stomach open, he was full of snakes, I got them all out.
Nice.
And it's like, oh no. And the husband was driving her to the hospital because she had fucking lost it and killed their kid. So little misunderstanding.
That's some great stuff. Nice.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Dude, the Danish are fucking amazing. Like that movie, The Hunt, or I guess Junkin. Oh my god, that's a terrific movie. Mads Mikkelsen. Now, can you tell me about it? I've been on a kick recently where I'm just watching like all the best Asian movies of all time. Like I'm just banging out like Tokyo Story, like fucking High and Low, Ikiru, like just banging out like all of like the great works of Japanese, Taiwanese, and Hong Kong cinema. Tell me, so you've been watching great movies as well. How did you enjoy your viewing of War of the Worlds?
You told let me bring up our text conversation.
Yes,
because you told Steven and I to watch 2005 War of the Worlds. Yeah, Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise. And that was a movie that I had always watched on HBO. I remembered pretty much all the beats. But then you watch it again, you realize things like, hey, that's Tim Robbins,
Yes.
And but what perplexed me is maybe I just read this wrong. You said it's extremely scray. Is that slang? Is that hip slang, or did you mean scary? Because I read it as scary.
It is meant to be interpreted as scary. There are a couple scenes in there that I found. I was listening with headphones on a huge TV right in front of me. There are a couple scenes in there that I was genuinely unnerved by. With the main one being the scene where that plane crashes, and like that whole sequence is so intense and amazing, and just like it's so relatable, where it's like there's some sort of climactic event happening like outside, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Let's just go into the deepest place in the house we can, and even then, it's still being heard and seen. Very unnerving stuff. But how did you like it?
I did like it. I mean, I always remembered liking that movie a good amount. It wasn't as scary to me as it was like just really loud, not in a bad way, but I was like, damn, this shit's fucking loud. And I also, what I thought it was gonna, what I remembered is that it's 2005, so I thought we were sort of out of the woods where Spielberg wasn't literally fucking bleaching his film to make it as washed out and overexposed looking as possible.
Dude,
in Minority Report. And I was like, oh, nope, he's still doing that. It still looks...
The stuff in the backyard at the beginning of the movie is crazy.
Yes. Yeah. When they're outside their house.
Going on. Yeah.
It's fucking. It's like it looks bad, and
You're getting straight up double images of actors and stuff because there's so they're using a halation filter like a frost filter or something, which produces like an imprint of every bright source in the image.
Yeah, it just looks like a really cheap jewelry commercial or something.
Yeah, it didn't age well. No,
Though those parts didn't. But there's it's still it's like what was the analogy I came up with that like because it's like it's a really tight fucking 2 hours. It does not feel like 2 hours. It feels like a fucking TV. It feels like an episode of a TV show. It's like pretty much just tension the entire time. I was waiting for finally like the break where like they talk and like Tom Cruise analyzes his relationship with his kids and talks to them or something. And it's like, nah, man, this is just raw. This is just raw ass, fear for the whole time. And it's like, still like, immaculately directed, but the literal images, like the literal photons entering my eyeballs are a form of assault. It's like it's like being raped by an otherwise really charming and smart guy. It's like, damn, under different circumstances, I would really be enjoying this. But I some of these, I mean, but then some of the shot where they're driving away and that fucking overpass is fucking going over. I remember that one. I was like, fuck, that looks good. And one of the things that always stuck with me from when I saw it, first when I was like 10 or whatever, is when Dakota Fanning's watching those bodies float down the river.
Oh my god, dude!
That's haunting. I like that a lot.
I love that Tom Cruise is, he's playing against type in the movie because he is a piece of shit. Like he is like a fucking loser. And in any other movie, Tom Cruise is super competent and is like able to deal with the emotions going on, but he has no control over. He has no understanding of his kids at all.
Well, at least
at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, he can't handle his kids, and he's forced to that's the whole thing. It's like he with no warning, he is like forced into like ultimate survival situation. But he's also like the only guy in the country who knows how to fix a car from an EMP. So he has some. They gave him some plot armor where he's just like a magical genius with cars because he's a longshoreman, I guess. I don't know.
He owns a sports car that he works on. So
right.
So like that's where his.
But it's like he knows car engines better than like a literal car mechanic who like works at I don't know.
But so like I'd never seen this movie at all. Never seen a frame of it.
Oh, damn!
That was my first time ever watching the movie.
Holy shit!
And
how did you avoid that for so long? That's crazy.
I had heard that Dakota Fanning was good in the movie. Dakota Fanning is fucking amazing in that movie. Like she has like a character, like not in like a she's delivering lines way, but she's like throughout the movie you can see the gears working in her head and like. I would say it's the finest child acting I've ever seen. Like she's a character, and not even just like a kid delivering lines well. That's a character, and to be so young too. It's not like a tween, or like an early teen child actor.
Like 10,
where she's genuinely amazing in that movie, and she's like screaming, but it's like there's good reason for it, and it's not. It's like it gets to the point where it's annoying and then like it stops. It's like, okay, you as the audience are like annoyed now because you're supposed to be, because she has panic attacks and that's part of her. But she's also like, because she's a child of divorce, she's like, oddly a little too mature in a way that like Tom Cruise doesn't like. So she's like kind of smarter than him. It's a great dynamic. And then so we were watching it and I said we're watching it, and then I just said it is loud, and you said you're just too old, and then I said I'm crying at Billy Joe Armstrong dying and hoping Stephen isn't noticing. That took me about 5 minutes to deconstruct because I'm like because I'm like, damn, this is really moving him here. And then I'm like, because I'm like, did Billy Joe Armstrong? First thought, did Billy Joe Armstrong die? And I'm like, okay, I don't think he has that kind of connection with Green Day. And I'm like, oh, he's referring to the child as because
he looks just like.
Well, I got it at it. Yeah, but
well, first
yeah,
I was calling really him. Funny. First I was. He went from Billy Joel Armstrong to Billy Joe, Armstrong to Haley Joel Osment. I just kept calling him like three names that sounded sort of the right number of syllables.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
So what was happening there? Run me through this. What was the thought process that got you crying?
I was pretty drunk and on mushrooms. That could have been it.
Okay, you did. I asked what you were on. You lied. You had told me you were just drunk.
Oh, you said, what are you guys on tonight? And I said, Moscow Mule.
Motherfucker. Should have known.
Yeah, but usually it doesn't make me emotional. But it's I don't know. I've either just been more fragile lately because I've been more busy than usual, and I'm a little frazzled.
Yeah.
And there's something about, maybe it's probably a similar thing, because one of the last things that got me was the first episode of fucking Guns and what the fuck was that show called where they were underground and the little girl and she had the dad. It's the same thing, I think.
Uh-huh.
Where it was like Tom Cruise, he was trying to get through to his son. He didn't have enough time, and he lost him.
Yep.
It is
moving.
It was so brutal.
It's moving. He don't worry. He's okay. He survives.
I did not like that part. I did not like that he just showed up and he was like, "Dad, I made it. I shot a javelin. It was cool. I'm still wearing this jacket." I couldn't tell what season it was supposed to be. Like, there's so much, like they're using like jersey or whatever, and he's wearing like 8 layers of clothes, but it's like there's grass and plants everywhere. I was confused as to what time of year it was supposed to be.
You know what sequence I love is when Tom Cruise comes home after the initial like wave of the invasion, and he's covered in dust. And like,
I love how Steven Spielberg was like, okay, I did Schindler's List. What if I combined it with 9/11? Because it's very like both of those.
Oh yeah, of course.
Imageries. There was something else that happened. I was like, he's just doing. I saw a lot of things Spielberg had just done before, and I was like, that's the same scene. Oh yeah, it has the scene from fucking Jurassic Park where they're hiding.
Oh yeah,
from the
that's
thing.
Identical.
It's identical scene.
What I was thinking about recently?
A lot of just taking real world things, Holocaust, 9/11, taking scenes from previous movies he had done. The scene where shit's shaking outside. That's probably kind of poltergeisty, right? Even though
yes. Oh god, you should watch Poltergeist. Dude. Oh my god, Poltergeist is probably in my top 20 favorite movies. But like, that movie's incredible. But anyway, I was thinking about something recently, and I'm maybe in my 50s. I'll really examine this, but I think that so there's like the Joseph Campbell Hero with 1,000 Faces. There are like the story archetypes of man versus man, man versus self, man versus nature. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to believe that there are, that narrative is really can be broken down basically mathematically into layers of the archetypal experiences that are drawn from the shared human experiences that exist. So like, I'm starting to think that like you can essentially figure out the chords that exist within narrative structure in film, and that there is a way to like write the notation of it, that's extremely schizophrenic sounding, I know, but I'm starting to believe that might be actually the case, and you can like come up with a notation for like the different kinds of things that can be presented on screen. But in 30 years, get back to me and I'll let you know if that ends up being the case. I'll probably dedicate my 40s or 50s to that.
Okay.
Of coming up with
that's a new way. That's a pre-alpha. That's a pre-alpha idea. Yeah, that's a little That's a little idea fetus that you got there. I'm like, I can't really see its eyes or its face,
Understandable.
but that'll be something.
But you're not allowed to abort it yet. So that's
No.
Maybe eventually you'll have to abort it on me regardless. We'll have to get the coat hanger out on that one. But yeah, I because like, you know what I just kept noticing is like how many of the quote unquote great TV shows that came out in the 2010s, how many of those feature infidelity? Like if you look at all of the best TV shows that came out in the 2010s, whoever you ask, I feel like every single one's got infidelity as a core plot element in at least one of the seasons. Happens in Breaking Bad, it happens in Mad Men, it happens in Game of Thrones, like Western television to be specific, obviously. But it's like, God damn, how many pieces of media have infidelity is like one of, and it was kind of disturbing to me, honestly.
I mean, they all have the Mexican
Christ.
cartel too.
No, Mad Men doesn't have the cartel.
Oh, I saw someone list like 5 or 6 shows from the last 10 years that involved the Mexican cartel.
Game of Thrones don't got no cartel.
That one doesn't. No.
I think the cartel thing is a direct result of Breaking Bad being successful. But like really, when you look at it, it's like, okay, go to other shows in the history of the history of television. It's like, okay, we've got fucking like MASH has infidelity in it. It's like every TV show has infidelity in it somewhere. It's really disturbing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, doesn't most fiction throughout all of history? That's a pretty common cause of conflicts in every society ever.
Yeah. So like, how many other of those particular types of drama exist so ubiquitously? So ubiquitously? Is that a word?
Yeah.
With such ubiquity throughout narrative fiction, it's just there've got to be at least 3 or 4 other ones that are so present.
Oh yeah, tons. Like I've gotten to the point where when I see something that's extremely cliche or tropey, as the Zoomers call it now, I like it. I'm like, yes, it's this thing again. What are they going to do with it this time?
Did you see Top Gun?
No.
That movie just like that. Just I don't even care about the original Top Gun.
No, neither do I. And I like planes.
And like, it's this new movie convinced me that I cared about the original Top Gun. If that makes sense. Which is amazing to me. Hold on, I need one more drink and then I'm ready to start talking about anime. Be right back.
Okay. Warning, this stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. I'm streaming audio and 1 JPEG, man. You do not need 4,500 kilobits for that. You just don't. I'm sorry. I'm saving electricity. I'm saving data. I'm saving lives. I'm saving the goddamn world. I'm saving the goddamn world.
Okay.
After War of the Worlds, Steven and I watched The Nice Guys with the Goose and Russell Crowe.
How'd you enjoy that?
That's funny. That's a funny movie. That's quite enjoyable.
That was my exact takeaway as well, where I'm like, that is a good example of that kind of movie.
Yes. yeah.
It
was like fun.
That. Yeah.
Those guys being dudes.
I saw? I saw Talladega Nights for the first time. I'd never seen Talladega Nights before.
I saw that in theaters.
Which I have to say, my expectation, like my appreciation and enjoyment of the movie might be affected by the fact that it was the director's cut, which is, as I've heard it described to me, needlessly long in some scenes and kind of like, because comedy films don't really need director's cuts, but because usually it shits on the cutting room floor for a reason. And I thought that movie was like I might as well have not seen it, if that makes sense. It's not a bad movie, but I just didn't. Um, I could have gone the entire rest of my life without seeing that movie and not have changed a single iota.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's like it's probably like even if you like NASCAR, there's probably not enough like because you need to have like good like inside jokes where like the closest they get to that I think is that his name's Ricky Bobby, which is like the types of names that all those dudes have.
My understanding is that movie is as accurate a NASCAR movie has ever been made.
Okay.
Like based on
So maybe
people
I
have said.
would have liked it more if I knew more about NASCAR. I remember I do remember that it just straight up breaks for an Applebee's ad.
Yes. Yes.
And
Multiple times as a joke. Yeah.
oh, more than once. Okay.
Yeah, they go to
Well, I
go
mean,
to
yeah, I
Applebee's.
know it's like a quote unquote joke, but it's like they made a real ass Applebee's ad.
Well, there is an ad. There is an Applebee's ad in there, and that is an actual ad that was airing at the time. And it's like it's not quite.
I only ever saw it in the movie.
Did you see have you seen Wayne's World?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Wayne's World does a similar thing, but like I think that joke was kind of played by the point that they did it in Ricky Bobby. It's like Wayne's World already kind of had that material, you know.
Yeah, and it was funnier because they were doing bits of it. They were holding up.
Right, they were talking about how
and-
stupid it is to do fucking very obvious product placement as a gag.
Yeah.
They
They didn't just stop the movie for. I kind of get. I don't know.
Do you like Weird Al?
I appreciate him. Like, but it's like it's the way it's basically kids music, except for some songs. I still like some songs, like just wholly as songs without like a nostalgia filter. Like I really like Everything You Know Is Wrong is a good song.
That's a great one.
I love Your Horoscope for Today. Even though like the jokes in it are pretty obvious, it's like very it's the type of direction anyone would take with that concept, like very specific strange advice followed by
You know what? But the thing is that he did it.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite Weird Al material is like the stuff where he's writing songs that evoke something rather than writing straight up parody songs.
Yeah.
Like
Dare to Be Stupid. One of the best.
Oh God.
That's That's just fantastic.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite one.
Yeah. I gotta watch that movie UHF. I've never seen it. But I've heard it's very funny.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty funny. The Asian dojo master is a funny character. In real life, his name's like Josh. He's just like an American guy. But in the movie, he's like, "You're so stupid!" He's like tossing people out of windows and doing karate on them. And yeah, parodying movies that were popular at the time.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was done, I think.
I was so I've decided that I'm going to probably watch like a total of like maybe 30 like essential works of Asian cinema, and then as a palate cleanser. But part of my the way I've been operating when I'm watching all these movies is like just am not going to be like saying like, oh, I'm not in the mood for that, which is like a huge problem I have where like I'll have a movie that I know is essential I need to watch. I've gotten rid of that thought process. Like I've just, if there was a movie that I know I need to watch, I'm just watching it now, which I have to say has been quite rewarding. Like I've been really enjoying that. And so probably going to get to like 30, and then I'll probably pick another very specific area of cinema to jump into next after. But my palate cleanser is going to be the exact same mentality, but with like the normiest TV shows that exist.
Oh boy.
So like, I'm gonna dive in head first. I'm gonna, because I need to have something to talk about, with people,
Sure,
and like, so that like, I can lure them into thinking that like I'm like a person that
Now just get deep
watches.
into Ugandan film.
Well, that's coming. Don't worry, that's happening. But right now, I think. So what was on my list? I'm gonna watch Severance. I'm going to watch Mandalorian. I'm gonna watch The Mandalorian.
Oh boy, you're probably not gonna like that. I don't know anything
That's
about that.
oh,
but
that's okay.
Severance is
And
probably it might be good. I don't know.
so I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
do. Well, actually, is Severance? That's fucking another comedy. Come on, comedy actor, Jewish guy, Zoolander. Help me out here. One of the most famous comedic actors of the 21st century, Tropic Thunder.
Black.
No, director.
Oh no, Rob, not Rob Schneider. But, no, Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. Now Ben Stiller, I think he's actually I think he's a genuinely really good filmmaker. Like I think Tropic Thunder is a great movie.
I showed you his Vision and Jack. Or no, did he direct that? I think he might have.
He at least wrote it.
Yeah.
And I think Severance is his. I think that's a Ben Stiller joint. Let's see.
Might have only been like the first episode. I don't know. They stole the concept for that show. That's probably been done before. But they stole
it's not him. What is it? Did you Succession? Severance TV series. Oh, directed by Ben Stiller. Yeah, that's him. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a great director, and I am looking forward to watching that. I don't know anything about the concept, so saying it's stolen doesn't mean anything to me. What is it stolen from, though?
Well, it's probably been done even before this, but very similar to a short story by this author, or not, well, yeah, author / writer I follow on Twitter, named Delicious Tacos. He wrote a very, very short, like, story about. It's really great because it's so compact, but there's this huge gut punch at the end. It's about a guy who, it's like near future when you get a job. At the beginning of the day, you take this drug by injecting it into the crook of your elbow, and it makes you like forget like what you do during your job, so you can be like at maximum productivity. And then you don't have to deal with being bored or whatever. So you just do your job and you don't really remember it. And you come out of it. And then, he heads home at the end of the day every day. And he has this awesome wife who loves him and cooks and cleans and everything. And then loves him. And then one day something happens, like the drug wears off early and he wakes up. And it turns out he doesn't have an office job. And he's being raped by a huge black guy. And he's in a room. He's in a room full of people, and they're all getting fucked while this guy watches. And he turns out he's just like a sex slave for this like billionaire, and that's what he's been doing the whole time. So he panics and he freaks out, and he's like runs out of the building. He's still naked. He starts driving home, and he's gonna get home a little early, but he just wants to see his wife and tell her what's been happening. And he gets home and he can't find his wife. And he bursts into the bathroom, and she's sitting there, and she's injecting something into her elbow.
Oh, so her job is to be his nice wife. Great, that's good stuff. Yeah. It's a little Total Recall-y too, with like the wife who is there to keep you placated and shit. Well, yeah. I mean, I know very little about the twists and turns of the story.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happens in the story. I just know this. It's the same concept where your personality or your memories are split between your job and the rest of your life. So like you don't know what you're doing in your job, and your job self doesn't know what you're doing outside a job. So that's the basic premise. I don't know what actually happens in the show.
I think The Mandalorian's got Boba Fett in it. You know anything about that?
No,
What do you think
what's he doing?
Well,
he like?
he's the one with the helmet. He's got the jetpack, and he says no. Well, Darth Vader says to him, "No disintegrations."
Is Yoda in it?
I think I've seen something about Yoda being in it. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be
There's
nice to see Yoda again.
I like him
That'd be cool.
because he talks all backwards and stuff, and that's funny. I like that, and I like.
I thought you were. I was hoping you were going to go into, oh boy, buddy, you're not going to believe this, because it's not just Yoda. Like, get this.
No, I couldn't commit that hard. I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah. It's got Boba Fett in it.
I've been hearing stuff about this Obi-Wan show. Oof.
If anyone has Darth Vader in it, I'm in. I like Darth Vader a lot.
You can't be serious. You can't. There's no way.
You know what Darth Vader because that's the best part about that Rogue One movie is when Darth Vader shows up
down a hallway.
Yeah,
dude, it's like a horror movie. It's like a horror villain.
We had we know a person who is like I think is a pretty intelligent person. Who got so drunk one time? This was like at a New Year's party, and he was wasted. I mean, as drunk as I've seen most people. I think at a level of drunkenness that rarely gets attained in front of me. Mm-hmm. If we were talking about Rogue One, this is a person who I think is a pretty intelligent person. But Rogue One came up, and he was so drunk. He was like, well, what about the part when Darth Vader brings out his lightsaber and goes, vroom? And he was, vroom, was badass.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. It was so funny. Because it's the most obvious opinion you can have on that shit from fucking Rogue One. Did you watch Rogue One?
No.
Oh, my fucking God. Oh, my God. It's probably the movie I hate the most. I think I hate it more than any other movie.
For me, that's Kingsman.
Oh, did you watch The Kingsman?
The Golden Circle. No, I didn't watch The Kingsman. Talking about
did you watch the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, movie blows. Yeah, movie sucks. It's crap. It's like, who the fuck is that for?
It's for people who it's for Reddit. It's for fucking retards.
He gets pussy in the movie. You're not allowed to get pussy in a Reddit thing.
That's not true at all. But it's also Samuel L. Jackson literally gives a fucking speech about how he's not going to give a speech about how he's going to kill you because this ain't your grandpa's spy movie. This ain't your dad's spy movie, buddy. This is real. And it's like that kind of speech. They do that in like fucking Phineas and Ferb. Like that type of speech is more cliche than the actual villain speech, where he takes too long and lets the guy escape. At this point, it's been done way more times, no question.
Well, what's funny is
smart.
No, it's Drek. And people are morons, and the universally regarded as one of the worst James Bond movies is Diamonds Are Forever. Diamonds Are Forever might be the best James Bond movie. You and Steven should watch You Only Live Twice and Diamonds Are Forever. Again, universally regarded as like the two of the worst Sean Connery movies. Those are easily top 5 James Bond movies. I would argue that You Only Live Twice might be the best James Bond movie.
You Only Live Twice? Oh, that's not. Oh, that's Connery. That's not Brosnan.
Those are both Connery. Yeah, so there's Connery did You Only Live Twice. Then there was a George Lazenby movie, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and then he came back to reprise the role when he was.
Again. Yeah.
No, Never Say. He had 2 gaps. So.
Oh.
Diamonds Are Forever was when he reprised the role for the first time. That was under Eon production. And then Never Say Never Again was not an Eon production. That was a separate production. So it's not in the canon of the main James Bond films.
Ah.
holy fuck. I mean, Diamonds Are Forever is like, I don't know which one of them I like more, but Diamonds Are Forever has so much amazing, memorable stuff in it. There's a gay couple that's like an assassination duo, and they like it's like if Jamie and Adam from MythBusters were gay and it's a couple of assassins, and they're like there's like the villain lair is amazing. There's these two girls named Bambi and Thumper that James has to fuck up because they're like,
I thought you were gonna say he has to fuck.
It's a great movie, and You Only Live Twice has fucking Sean Connery and Yellowface trying to infiltrate a ninja academy. It's unbelievable how fucking great that movie is, and like, I mean, all of the other ones are dog shit. Like Goldfinger sucks. From Russia Love sucks. It's like these movies are whack, you know. And I've gone on too much about James Bond. I've seen them all, so I'm very passionate about
it. Yeah, you watched all of them. Yeah, I was talking to you earlier about YouTube recommending me clips of The Big Short, which won Oscars, didn't it?
I don't know that it won Oscars.
It got like nominations, but man, or maybe am I thinking of The Big Sick? Is that a different movie? But holy fuck, that movie! It's you'd be hard pressed to make something that bothers me more than The Big fucking Short. Oh my god, just the obnoxious, the directing. Yeah. It's like fucking. It's like if who's the Shaun of the Dead guy?
Simon Pegg.
No, the director.
No. Fucking what the hell is his name? I gotta look this up like a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Oh, Edgar Wright.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if Edgar Wright was on fucking ketamine, it's just like you can tell like every character who's not like a stuffy banker has like imperfections like on their face, and like every like all the other like you can it's just like it's a baby analysis of like an extremely complex financial disaster, like and they the way they try to explain it to you is like the guys who are bald and fat with the clean faces are bad because they're always laughing at everything, and Steve Carell's like, you are stealing from the American people, and the guy's like, and it's like this is people think this is genius.
So I've seen both The Big Short and Adam Kay's movie Vice.
You fucking
so
Vice.
I've seen both of them.
Yeah.
The Big Short definitely has that sort of like preachy element where you've got like your white knight, you know, fucking completely infallible protagonist. But there's also a spectrum as well where it's like it's an ensemble cast. So you've got a number of other characters with their varying levels of involvement in it and like their own sort of like the spectrum of where they stand morally and what they stand to gain or lose based on the actions, you know, of everybody else in the movie. So it's like there's more going on in the movie than just that one element. I think that Vice is a better movie, and I genuinely liked Vice a lot.
Wow.
But yeah, no, you would. I think you would loathe both movies if you watched them. But,
yeah, no, there's just no way I'm ever gonna like. Yeah. It's like.
Yeah, but like, you know, I have a pretty firm understanding of both of them. You know, like going into both situations going into the movie. So I was more interested in like the kind of character work being done by the actors. Like, if you look at the cast of both their movies, they're pretty solid, and I really enjoyed a lot of the character actors that are in The Big Short too. You know, so like, I was enjoying that element beyond like, you know, the sort of eye-rolly elements of it being explained to me, you know? So I was able to kind of compartmentalize those elements a little bit more.
Yeah,
And
Steve Carell and Christian Bale do good being weirdos, but then it's just like everyone they interact with is like they're talking to like subprime, you know, realtors, and they're just like, haha, I go after the immigrants. Those guys don't even speak English. Sign everything I give to them. Yeah, I'm drinking an umbrella drink. I'm 23, and like listening to Tim Dillon describe his time selling subprime mortgages is like so much better, because he'll just be like talking about talking to a married couple who like neither one like either both of them like barely have jobs, and he'd be like, we can get you $300,000, and they'll be like, can we have 600, and he'll be like, yeah, can I wait till Monday, but yeah, we can get you 6. It's more like that. That's like way more entertaining to me than
there's also shit like that going on in the movie too. That's part of like the spectrum of the experiences going on around the crisis. Was like you have examples like the frat boy stand-in guy that they've got, but then there's also like they go and talk to people that have these mortgages, and like they have absolutely no understanding of what they've gotten themselves into. So again, I think part of that is like my willingness to accept like an ensemble film if there are elements that aren't working from like one plot line. I'm totally okay as long as there's another one that's keeping me compelled. And again, like I have a lot of character actors in that movie I like a lot. Hamish Linklater is in that movie. He was in fucking what was the horror show last year? Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
So like, and Jeremy Strong's in that too. He's really talented, and like I am not necessarily looking to those movies for the most hard-hitting analysis on like the actual situation and the fallout, and more just like seeing how the characters interact with it. So yeah, there's my defense of The Big Short and Vice. You guys can watch the movie and decide if you liked it or not. But it's like,
yeah, I can just
you
never
would
get
loathe
past subtext. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I just fucking hate Verhoeven too. I
God,
can't enjoy any of his movies.
Love him. Oh my
He's
god.
such a smug fucking dick.
Oh god, I love Paul
What a
Verhoeven.
fucking dipshit. I fucking hate Verhoeven and his movies so much, dude.
I don't know that I've ever seen the Paul Verhoeven movie I didn't like. I love every single one of his movies so much, and it's like it's so irreverent and fucking like all of them, even Showgirls. I think Showgirls is amazing.
I think they're fake. I think they're fake irreverent. I think he thinks he's like he's doing it because he's above it, so he's like not indulging in it. He's like thinks he's making a point.
Way.
No, abso-fucking-lutely, dude. He made RoboCop because he was freaking out that there was like a brief period in the mid '80s where people could like actually go to jail for doing violent crimes. So he thought he was like doing this huge takedown of like this like hyper violent American police culture. And that's why he shot, that dude full of 8,000 squibs. He was like, yeah, fucking get that guy. And then fucking, what's the other movie?
Starship Troopers would probably be the other one you point to.
Oh, Starship Troopers. Yeah, I've gone into why I fucking hate that shit. And even Showgirls. It's supposed to be, I think, like this critique of the A Star Is Born story, but that story doesn't exist. It's never actually been made. He's critiquing something that's never actually. The original movie, A Star Is Born, is like a tragedy. It's like a tragic drama, isn't it? Like someone dies. There is no
in every version of A Star Is Born, somebody dies. Yes.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, you think that the glitz and glamour of the Vegas, Hollywood? Well, what if I showed you, what if I made it silly so that it seemed silly? And it's like, dude, fucking no one thinks this is. You're not taking down anything. You're a fucking.
The scene in Showgirls that makes the whole movie work for me is when she's So the main character, is being visited by the dirtbag a strip club owner and her manager from the first strip club that she worked at, and it's presented with such like utter sincerity as they come and they're like, "Wow, you've really made it in the big time," and still they're like these like they're in this scene that should be the most by the numbers, like, wow, I can't believe you made it, but they're still the same people that they were back at the strip club where the girl who was the manager is still popping out her big fat ugly tits and being like "Boop," and there's like a sound effect when she pops them out, and then the dirtbag owner is like, it must be kind of different not having people come on your tits. And then he walks out, and it makes it like that scene to me makes the whole fucking movie work. And I'm like, God damn, it's like it just works for me. It works for me in a way that Lynch movies work for me, if that makes sense. Or where I'm like, it's he makes complete worlds. Even Showgirls has a complete world to it with its own sort of internal logic, and like crazy things can happen in them, and it doesn't shock me even a little bit because the situations that he set up have internal logic, and like I buy into that, and I admire that in his filmmaking, where like things can be completely ludicrous, but inside of his own movies, like you don't even question it for a second. So I just like his filmmaking craft for that reason, and like whether or not his intention was to make a hard hitting commentary on something, I wouldn't even say it's really relevant to the way that I enjoy the movies. I need to watch Basic Instinct. I've never seen that one.
That was another thing. I was reading about how he made Basic Instinct, and then it got like protested because the bisexual lady was the villain. And he called the protesters like fascists, and then he made Starship Troopers, and everyone accused him of being a fascist because they just didn't get his ham-fisted, satire, and he has no self-awareness. He just breezes by these things. He's an old dumb faggot.
Yeah, that's what I like about him. Those are my favorite people.
Have you seen? Who's the bad guy from RoboCop? He was in that '70s show, whatever, bald guy. But he was talking about the scene "Bitches Leave."
Bitches leave.
And Verhoeven is European, so he didn't know that bitches was like bad or derogatory. So like he was like explaining the scene to everyone on set, and he goes like, okay, and you say bitches leave, and then bitches you leave, and then after the bitches leave you do.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty funny.
I don't have it in me to not like Verhoeven's movies. I just resonate with them. They just speak to me when I'm watching them. A fine filmmaker. I haven't seen Adam McKay's most recent movie though. That looks like dog shit.
That was the Meteor one.
Yeah, I gotta go fucking pee. I'll be right back. And then we gotta talk about anime eventually.
Yeah. Did we though? Do we really have to talk about anime? He's peed twice, and how long have we been? It's only been an hour. Jesus Christ, man, this is fucking crazy. We do only have like 4 shows to talk about though, so it's gonna be a short. I think we're gonna do this season, and then we're gonna have a different podcast. Then we're gonna change the name. We're gonna get a 3rd seat. Apply to be the 3rd seat at podcast@gangstalking.com. That's GANGSTOCKING. Or admin@gangstalking.com. That would work too. Podcast is probably better though. Or gangstalkingpodcast@gmail. But podcast@gangstalking is easy to remember. God, I'm going to have to buy another domain with Bitcoin. You know how much of a pain in the ass it is to make a fake British name? Make up an address, do all the Bitcoin stuff to buy your domain. Ugh. Then you got to put Bitcoin into the account to pay for the Pay for the domain every year, and that's a huge pain. Gonna get a new one. Have to do that more. That's cool though.
All right.
I'm trying to see if there's any good. In the new Discord, I made a text channel called "New Homeowner Tips and Tricks" for me and Connor because we both bought houses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I have a bot in here that auto replies if you start your message out with tip : and it will always reply with 3 thumbs up emojis. Nice tip in all caps. and it just starts out with us like stupid stuff like I say tip, you can use a truck to move objects and items.
Mm-hmm.
And Connor's like, you can use a vacuum cleaner to clean out 20 years of spider poop in the basement. And then I say tip, during the buying process, your lawyer likely will not be able to do 5th grade arithmetic. If it's a woman, you can push her down onto the ground. Nice tip.
That seems like a whole endeavor, Mr. Homebuyer. I'm glad you finally closed. That's exciting.
Oh yeah, closed on the house. That was pretty.
You gotta go buy a bunch of furniture, bro.
I think I have most of the furniture I'm gonna need. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out how I'm gonna lay out the internet cables, because at some point I want a cool server rack at the basement, but I also want I need the office, need the computer in the office.
Drill holes into the wall and floors.
I know, but where do they go is the problem, because I'm not going to have the server at first. I'm going to have it later.
Google it.
I don't want to put the modem. Google what? That's too specific. I'll figure it out. I'll have to figure it out. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to figure it out soon is the problem.
I'm excited to come see your fucking new pad, bro.
When are you going to be able to do that? You're going to be here
Probably
for Thanksgiving?
No, I think I'm going to come out later this summer.
Oh shit.
Probably after the movie's complete, so like August or September, I'll probably come up.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'm like, we sent the first act of the film off to have the score done, which is exciting.
Sick.
And then we're doing the ADR process on the movie right now. It's like, I feel like I've barely talked about making the movie at any point during recording this podcast, but okay.
No, you definitely have.
Okay, I've compartmentalized that then. I don't remember any of that shit.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay, yeah, August or September. I'll probably be out of cocaine by then, but I'll get more. It's cool.
Maybe you don't have to. Maybe.
Okay. I guess I won't then.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about there being any cocaine up here.
Did you ever?
Not up here, officer.
I got a fucking. I got some. Sometimes YouTube just like feels where I'm at. Usually, it doesn't understand what I'm thinking at all. But sometimes it gets me and understands me better than I understand myself. And there was a Looney Tunes show that aired in like 2011 or 2012 that I caught a little bit of when it was airing, and it was it's like a sitcom kind of thing where it's like, the Looney Tunes characters living very grounded and like normal domestic lives, and the trials and tribulations that come with that. And they have Daffy and Bugs as like a kind of they're not literally a gay couple, but they live as if they're a gay couple. Yeah. And I was watching some clips from that show, and that shit was so funny. It was just like Daffy Duck complaining about Bugs Bunny never taking him to the opera and shit. That shit was getting me. Anyway, we got to talk about anime.
Yeah, I get like ASMR positive affirmation whispering, and I'm like, what the fuck is this cringe ass fucking
well, maybe you should listen to it. Maybe it'll help you bullshit. Fucking have a more positive fucking
and then it's like an anime girl just like whispering like, you've done such a good job. And I'm just like,
That's funny.
finally, I'm home.
As you get older, do you think of yourself as being dumber or smarter than you thought?
I then I thought I was going to be. You mean like when I was younger?
No, just well, that was another question I was going to have. But like the like, do you think if you were to like look at yourself 5 years ago and to, like the way that you viewed yourself then versus the way that you view yourself now, do you feel like you've started to believe that you're dumber than you thought or you're smarter than you thought?
I've changed very little in the last 5 years, but no, I think I'm pretty fucking smart, and I try to suppress it so I'm not, a douchebag to people about it. But the more people I interact with, the more I'm like, holy shit, dude, I'm a fucking genius.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to literal lawyers and bank loan officers, people dealing with hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, who just cannot figure out anything. Or if I'm wrong and they're right, they have such a low verbal IQ that they can't fucking explain why the thing I'm saying does not apply to the current situation. And also the other thing is that I'm so rarely surprised by anything that it leads me to believe that I have a pretty good, predictive model of everything. So that I think
I see.
It's not cool. I want to be dumb because it's cooler to just say I'm a fucking idiot, so you don't have to like worry about anything, and you don't have to like live up to it.
Yeah. Well, you can lampshade like everything you do, and like don't have to like set any kind of expectations if you're dumb.
Yeah. You
And
can just say you're dumb, and then just like always be saying like insanely smart shit. You can do a Norm McDonald's.
Just exceed the expectations that you set constantly.
Yeah.
By,
But
like,
it's undeniable that I'm fucking pretty smart.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I don't know. It's sometimes I'll like start to think about it a little bit, and then I'll completely suppress that thought process because I'm like, it doesn't. It's not going to matter at all, So like, like even if I was, let's say, not that I am, but like let's say I was really really gifted, it's not going to change my like personal trajectory at all. Like the all I'm going to do is continue to do the exact same thing and like pursue the exact same thing regardless. So like if let's say I were to go like get tested, get like an IQ test or like whatever way, like really push myself, I'm not going to stop doing exactly what I'm doing, So like it has no value to me to even know or quantify that, So like it's a weird space to be in. But I'm going to take the opposite approach. I'm extremely dumb. So there you go. That makes it easy.
The one thing that does the one piece of doubt I always encounter is when I like try to talk to someone and I am like the most like, not only can I express none of my ideas like to someone who's not, as similarly brained to me as you, I might as well be talking, just to like a mirror when I'm talking to my friends, But like when I try to talk to like my parents, I sound like a literal fucking marble mouth retard. Like I cannot get a single thought out. It takes me like 20 seconds to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go there. By the end of it, I'm like, what the fuck was I just trying to say?
Like the complete opposite. I'm the complete opposite, and I'm easily, without a doubt, the most cerebral and most intelligent I ever am when I'm around my family. There's no question.
That's so funny. I was at my dad's house upstate on the lake, and like his neighbors would be talking to me, and I would just like like I would be like I don't have enough time to think of I would just be like yeah to everything, and then finally, one of the guy next door, he complimented me on my casting. I was doing a lot of fishing, and him and his wife were like just like lounging, just like falling asleep watching me cast. And I was walking away. He was like, "Casting's great. It's like watching the NFL. It's real relaxing over here for us." And I finally I was like, I took a second. I was like, "Well, I'm glad I'm accomplishing something at least." And then crickets. And I was like, for a second, I was like, "Yeah, I got a thought out. Hell yeah, I said something." And it's just like, it was like, he was like, "What the fuck did he just say? What?"
Yeah, no,
the rest of the trip, I was just crushed. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm not fucking saying shit to no one. Fuck this."
maybe like every encounter I ever have is actually that way, but I have a completely different perspective on it.
You have armor set up.
I would say go ahead.
People would be passing me on the lake. You know, I was in the kayak fishing, and they'd be like, "How is it?" And I'm like, "It's pretty good." And they're like, one lady goes, "They love those weeds," and I'm like, "Haha, yeah, that's where they are." So just like, because if it were you, I'd be like, what would I say? Let's just say that. I won't even think about it. Just throw that at me. Like, just if you were saying it. I'm here fishing.
How's it going out here?
I'm the fish master. These little fuckers love me.
Yeah, they love those weeds too.
Hey,
weed? You smoke weed? You want to smoke weed right now?
Weed.
Here, I'll come over. I'll boat over to you and we'll smoke weed together. So when did you start smoking weed? I started when I was 14. I'm hopelessly addicted to marijuana. My entire person. I'm very glad that we wind up. You know, we've lined up in this way because my entire personality is devoted to that. Actually, so. No, it's when I'm around. Like, let's just say I'm like talking to. When I've worked in like a normal workplace, not that I do that anymore.
Yeah.
Even when I go back to the places that I used to work, and I'm no longer in like. If a person is over 35 years old, the entire conversation is a slam dunk. It's
oh,
like,
God, I'm so jealous.
It's so good, dude. Like,
That's brutal.
There was a guy who was notorious for at one of the places I worked at who was notorious for like he would try to dunk on people. like he was the general manager of the store, right? So like, and his whole thing was that he would like, you know, find a way to like you know, make a joke about you, you know, and shit like that. Like, he's, you know, people regarded him as an asshole, and I never got that experience because I was faster than him. So like whenever he would come at me with something, I'd be ready to go instantaneously and go right back at him. And there was and like anytime I go into the store now, like, not that I work there anymore, but whenever I go in now, he immediately comes over and just like enjoys the fact that I'm as fast as him or faster than him, you know, and like it's generally that way with like most people, you know. So like I would say which I think will end up faring quite well for me once we start showing this movie, but like I'm at my best when I'm like 2 drinks deep and talking to somebody who is over 35. Like that is like that's like my zone, you know, is like if you know, I just, for whatever reason, I do really well in that environment, you know.
It's a good zone to be in.
It's served me well so far, but no,
I worked with a guy, he was like 30, and he was like he was like a very like you know, trying to be office funny man jokester kind of douchebag. Not really douchebag in like a malicious way, but just like, you know.
Yeah, he wanted to be fucking Jim.
Like, no. Jim was the straight man. He'd be like trying to bust everyone's chops, you know. He'd be like, you know,
sure.
He'd be like, Dexter, what's up, man? And I would be like, I would be like, this whole act is so transparent, but he would destroy me. I had nothing. I was just like, no, it's not. Yeah, that's, And, like at one point we were sitting at the same table for something, and in like a I don't know, like an auditorium, but with like circular tables.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Do you know anyone's names in here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What's that guy's name?" And I forgot everybody's name. Instantly, I knew no one's name. I had been there for like 2 years, no longer. And he just kept pointing at people, being like, "What's her name?" And I was like, I know her name. It's and I got 0 names, 0. Oh God.
No, yeah, it's I think
It's glad I have a job where I'm supposed to be autistic now. It's cool.
yeah, I'm glad I'm not in that field. It would drive me crazy. I mean, I'm usually the one taking people for rides, Like when I worked at like the store that I worked at, I would take people on like a multi-day arc where I would go in and I would sow the seed for an idea. Where I would go in and I know like like I would go. So there was like the marketing area at the store, right? Like there was like the like where they have like the people who manage the website, the people that put out the ads and stuff, and they were all girls, like they were all like in their like early or late 20s or whatever. And I would just go in there, and I would sow the seed where I'd be like, I'd be talking to one of them about like, I'd go there with like a legitimate thing, and then after a little bit, I'd be like, "Hey, do you think I could be a bad boy?" Do you think I could be like a bad boy type? Do you think of me as a bad boy? And they'd be like, no. They're like, no, you don't seem like a bad boy at all. I'm like, okay, sure. And then I'd walk out. And then like I would come back like a day or two later and be like, so I've been working on being a bad boy. And I'd be like, this is my new stance. Like I would show them like a new way that I would stand to be a bad boy. And I got pussy off that.
See, I tried to do something like that, and I got confused, like chuckles, and then I just like had to like walk away because there was no more.
I mean, did you work? I mean, you worked with older women. Like it's like
no. We had interns at one point. We had hot interns.
I see.
And
I see hot interns.
Yeah. We one of them. It was funny because one of them was way hotter, and when she left, she got a party, and the other one got like a cake or something.
I think if they're older than you, you need to go for like, from my perspective, from my experience, like if they're older than you, you definitely need to go the route of like just obviously being extremely self-aware, where it's like, clearly I am not a bad boy. That's just not. But the joke is that obviously I know I'm not a bad boy.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, you live in Austin. Like, you're gonna find people who like get any semblance of irony.
Sure.
So you have a bit of an advantage there.
This is definitely true. That's fair.
Like even I mean, out here it's like you're up shit creek, and like those interns were they were younger. What was I just thinking about?
Younger people, you have it like this is based on my experience having worked with younger people at a number of different places. I just had one of these and it was working like a fucking charm, which is like a younger person you just have to play into the fact that they're much younger than you. Like you just have to go into like asking them about whether or not they know something, and then being like, oh, interesting that you don't know that. Like, and it works every time.
You know what a CD is? You ever hear Betamax?
Well, I was more asking about specific cultural things, because like this one girl that I was working with was like, I got like 2 hours out of this. Was like she was in film as well, and she was like still in college or whatever. And I just kept like asking her about like whether or not things that I grew up on and came up on as being like essential, works were still relevant or not. And I got a lot of material out of that. Yeah, I don't know. This stuff comes to me intuitively, though. So.
Yeah. No, the really the only guy I talk to in my current job is like this this kind of like hippie-ish guy who's like a little older than me. And yeah, I should just kind of start like just like having just like just not gaslight, but like just having weird things going on like in the background of my microphone, or just like bringing up weird bringing up like weird weird thing like in Take Shelter when he's asking his coworker, like, you ever see birds move like that? And the guy's like, what the fuck what are you talking about? Or having arcs. Material. Yeah, it's just having harmless arcs where it's like he's like a little concerned about asking, but it's like I subtly imply over the course of like 2 weeks that there's like a giant crow in my basement that talks. there's like my basement is negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and I can't figure out why.
But I would say without a doubt, my number one skill in this world is knowing exactly where to go for those riffs. Where it's like, where I'm like, okay, what level of awareness does this person have?
Do you think I could be a bad boy? Is the fucking funniest thing ever.
Oh, I love that. It's one of my favorite things.
Thing to ask someone, anyone of any age, of any gender. That's so fucking funny to ask anybody.
I've gotten dozens. I mean, I probably have 50 hours of material on that, where like I'll like go up, like, because it works on everybody, because it's perfect, and like I love that bit, and I haven't done it in a few years now, but like when I worked in an environment like that where like people expect you to come up to them with things that they need from you, like that they'll need, or like you need something from them, and when you go in and you're just like you come at with them something like that, they don't know what to do, and it's like, I'm not making fun of them. I'm making fun of myself, and that's the most
just bringing weirdness into.
I like much material out of that.
Yeah, and maybe not starting out with arcs, but just like weird off. What's the word? Off side.
Offhand comments and shit.
Offhand, just weird shit like, yeah, sorry, I'm tired. I had to buy a lot of coconut oils because I started wearing leather jackets. But yeah, this here, just like, just stuff, just sowing the seeds of like, this guy's fucking crazy. What the fuck?
One of my favorite bits is like, because if you've got like a Emma, could I be a bad boy? Or do you think do I come across as a bad boy? Like, if you've got one of those in the chamber, one of my favorite things is going up to them expectantly and then taking a second to think.
Like it just came to you?
Yeah. We're like, do I bring this up or not? Like, you're about to ask them this. Put your hand in your mouth and be like,
this is a new term I've coined. I believe this you've invented, benevolent sociopathy.
Right. Yeah, it's for everybody else's enjoyment.
Yeah.
We're in like that was like, I got so much it's probably the one I go on to the most. But like, you go up to somebody and you'd be like, you put your finger up like you're about to say something, and then you put your hand to your mouth, and then you just turn away for a second, deep in thought. Like you're really ruminating on it, whether or not you should even bring it up. And you're like, do you think of me as a bad boy? Do I come across as like, dangerous or like a bad element? Like what? Clearly I'm not. So
what if I started wearing plastic fangs? Do you think that would like? Is that like a cool thing? Is that like a cool thing to do?
Money.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What if I started saying cool? What if I started saying cool phrases like when I'm saying goodbye to someone? Like, what's a cool way to say goodbye to someone? Like
that's
peace out.
You're exactly understand. You get it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Sam Hyde has this really old video where like him and like his roommate or whatever, it's his roommate's filming like from his bed, and Sam keeps walking by the bedroom door and going like, hey, what's a cool way to say like goodnight, man? And he just keeps like saying goodnight in different ways and walking by and like doing different hand gestures and like, yeah, so it's shit like that.
It's the thing where it's as safe as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
But it's still going to freak somebody's beam. You know what I mean?
They can't go to HR, but
well, it's
like,
it's never backfired on me.
Yeah.
You know, like if somebody's not receptive to it, you'll know pretty quickly. And like you can bail out of it pretty easily.
Yeah.
And like even if they're not into it, you can still double down, and it's pretty funny. You know, where like if somebody shakes their head and finds it annoying, you know, where you're like, well, what if you know, you kind of double down on it, and you can usually get some sort of response. But yeah, it's that sort of like ridiculous proposition, I think is the thing that, like, it's a great starting point. And like, yeah, no, I definitely have worked that in every job I've ever worked, where usually I'll be thinking about it for like 30 minutes beforehand.
Yeah,
we're like
you scheming.
When I worked at like the pizza restaurant, oh, that was the best. When I was delivering pizza, like I would go out on a drive, right? And I'd be like listening to some music, and I'd spend about probably 15 minutes of that like just thinking about like, okay, what am I going to say to his name was Skinny, when it was the name of the manager. And whenever I got back, I'm like, what am I going to say to Skinny when I get back, you know? And I would just kind of like just feel it out and like really work the different angles and shit. But yeah, God, I've gotten so much mileage out of that. It works just like casually if you're talking to girls too, because like they're used to lame ass bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about. But that people think about that. Like people, you know what's the thing that like I've noticed? This has been me sucking my own dick for 45 minutes now. I'm sorry.
This is
like,
good. I mean, no, if you did like the fact that you do this is great.
This is
worth explaining. This is worth teaching.
This has value to it. Like I swear,
this is definitely good practice for something. I don't know what.
Because I wouldn't consider myself like. There was a period in my life where like my mom at one point asked me, she's like, you used to be so outgoing. I was like fucking 11 or 12 and I'd been like, you know, I was like getting bullied and stuff. But just thinking about like the things that have worked for me. So also you need to be like not ugly. That's an important thing. Like, I think you could easily pull this off. Like, obviously,
delivery and confidence is important. Yeah, you definitely you've never done anything non-confidently. I've seen you go up to people and ask just wild questions to just strangers, strike up conversations, just fully no fear.
One of my best ever was there was this time I was at my friend's wedding and we were on a bus going somewhere, and it was like we were in a party bus going to a reception. And there was this guy right next to me, and I'm like, I decided in the moment, I was pretty drunk. I'm like, okay, I am going to bring this guy to the edge of punching me in the face and then become best friends with him. I made the decision.
That's completely psychotic.
No, because it was like, he was annoying me a little bit. Like he was being kind of like loud and obnoxious. And I'm like, I can get this guy. Like where I'm like, I feel like I could easily, like he's in a state where I could do this, and I did it. where I was like, he was saying something, and I confronted him on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, and like kept escalating it, and I'm like, dude, it's fucking fine. It's like, chill out, it's okay. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, man, it's totally fine. It's okay. Let's just talk this out. And he's like, oh, okay. And then we worked through the entire conflict that he was having, and then he was like hugging me by the end of it. It was there was another one that I was thinking about though.
You're a puppet master.
That's easy. That guy's drunk.
You're Andre maxing. These are like Eric Andre. Like these are like G-rated Eric Andre questions where he's like You think Justin Bieber shoots his DNA all over the ladies when he's in Paris, France?
Let me. I'm gonna go into another drink real quick, and I'll think about it. There was one I had on the fucking tip of my tongue before I went and did that other one. Here, I'll be right back.
Okay.
This makes me sound like a complete asshole. This is the biggest douchebag I've sounded like on this podcast in a long time.
Well, if it works, it works. I caught a fucking bass last weekend that was like fucking 6 pounds. It was awesome. And then I caught nothing after that but a bunch of pickle. So angry.
Let's see.
I had like a miniature, like I was supposed to head up to my dad's Saturday morning, but Steven and I had been partying War of the Worldsing it up.
Yeah.
And we were so hammered. And I woke up at 9 and was like, all right, time to go. And then I woke up at 1 p.m. So like, I just start driving there, and like I shouldn't be annoyed, but it's just like when you're late and someone just like keeps calling you every half an hour, you're just like, I'm just fucking God, I'm not gonna get me there any faster. Just fucking just shut the fuck up, leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know. So I got to the point where I just wanted to like make him think I just wanted to confuse him and make him think I had like lost it, or like I was like on drugs or something. So I get there and he's like, man, I was starting to worry about you. What made you get such a late start? And I just go, birds. And he's like, what? I was like, nothing. No, I just slept late. Let's talk about this anime we're supposed to talk about.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
it's
enough
summer.
of us being completely psychotic. Let's go to
Well, yeah,
anime.
Yeah. So it's summer 2022, part 1. It's gonna be, well, besides the hour and a half long conversation, hour and 40 we had about all that stuff. Current events, movies, our own personalities. We also have a new seasonal anime, and the first one was, we didn't do them perfectly in order this time for reasons that are not worth explaining, but we'll get to all of them as we always do. Don't worry. The first one is Licorice Recoil. I thought it was lyric something.
Like chorus?
I think it's licorice.
Licorice?
Lycerus. I thought it was gonna be music. I thought it was gonna be music themed because I thought it was lyric in the title, but it's actually licorice. So I think
it's more gun themed.
It's more guns. It's more the sound of guns. Oh shit! That was the other thing that happened while I was up in the woods. I got my dad that trail camera for Christmas, you know.
Yeah.
And he's been putting it out with a bunch of food to see bears because he really wanted to see a bear as long as he's had a place up there. He's like,
love bears.
I want to see a fucking bear. And he put it out once for a couple days, like immediately saw a bear. It was awesome. And he stuck it up in a different location another time, put a bunch of food down, and I went back with him to get it, and I was like, he's not going to be able to find this thing. He needed, because like I had to find it the first time we put it out.
Sure.
I'm like, there's no fucking way he's going to be able to find that thing. And we get out there, and he has these like rocks placed on the ground in like an arrow pointing towards where it is.
Sure.
And
he's
he gets
Hansel
there.
and Greteling this shit.
Yeah. And he gets there, and it's like he cannot find it at all. So I have to find it again, but it's on the ground. It's been torn off the tree.
Whoa!
And
cool.
we're like, oh, this footage is going to be pretty cool. And we get the footage, and he put it out at noon. And at 8:30 of that night, this fucking huge ass bear shows up and just
no way
starts licking trees, and then just sits down. You know how they sit down, but like they're sitting up. upright.
Yeah.
Just facing the camera perfectly, and he starts bending down trees to lick them, just casually like bending small trees, but just like
Amazing.
and then he starts scratching himself, and he's like holding his arm out like he's kind of waving while he keeps scratching himself, and he just hangs out there for like an hour, and then the last clip is him like sticking his nose right in the fucking camera.
That's amazing.
And roughing it around, and then all the rest of the videos of the camera facing upwards looking at the trees during the day. So it rules. But the camera, well, just the chassis was broken. We'll just like glue it together or get a new one or something. You can get replacements. But they sell bear cages for those so the bears can't destroy them. And now I know why, because somehow they always attack them, even though they're not supposed to be able to see like the infrared light. I don't know how the fuck they're seeing it or smelling it. But like
maybe it smelled a human on it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but how much smell could be? I mean, there's peanut butter everywhere. You'd think he'd be more interested in that. But like 2 for 2, he put it out the first time. The first bear he saw put its face in it, but didn't destroy it. And yeah, the second time tore it right off the tree. So that was pretty awesome. Okay. Anyways, yes.
Lycoris Recoil.
Lycoris Recoil is an original series by A1 Studios, and oh no, I'm looking at these screenshots.
Is it fair to say that A1 is a? Would you say that's a high-end studio?
Yeah, their stuff always looks good. The thing with A1 is that I don't know if they still do this, but like the word about A1 was always that they didn't have like a staff. They just always hired freelancers or
gun for hire types.
Or they hired animators from other studios just to do like contract work. So they didn't have like a permanent staff. So, if you're picking and choosing animators for a show, they're probably going to be pretty good, which is why their stuff usually looks pretty nice. But then I don't know if they still do that. And also they have sub studios with actual employees like Cloverworks and I forget the other one.
They did that Kaguya show that you were talking about.
A1 does Kaguya? Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, I think I have a bunch of now deleted tweets. That I
you deleted them
in a blackout state, semi blackout. I was a little embarrassed.
I was gonna dog you for it, but then I let you have it. I pulled back because I'm like,
dog me for it. I just for the tweet being lame, or because you disagreed with because you haven't seen the show.
No, I was gonna like joke about you enjoying something and make fun of you for it.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, which I pulled back on that instinct because it seemed like you were genuinely affected by it, so I just let it go. But you since have redacted. I would have felt terrible if I said that, then you retracted those tweets. So
no, if you had said anything, I would have doubled down. But I was just like, I made this. I probably didn't word it very good because I like barely remember making them. And
you say it's good though.
It's like crazy good. It's insane.
Cool, man.
It's unbelievable. And that's just the anime. But I think they skipped a lot of stuff. From the
Lycoris Recoil though.
Lycoris Recoil is an original story by Asaura, creator of Bento.
Nice.
And it's directed by the character designer for Sword Art Online and working.
The characters in both those shows look really good.
Yeah, but he's directing. Okay, all right, sure.
Sure.
And it's we start out. It's spring. Which I thought we were going to a school entrance ceremony. It was not though. I guess they're just establishing that it's spring. But our main character is Chisato, and then she's part of like this like kind of they're called the Lycoris or something like that. They're like pre-crime or something. They're just assassins. And somehow they know who's doing or going to do crime, and they just fucking murk them and make them disappear.
Yeah.
And apparently nobody notices this, or they have some way of making people like not notice it. They hinted at something like the organization obviously is doing some kind of evil thing, and also they're lying.
Waiting for that other shoe to drop for sure. Like,
yeah,
that's
like the
definitely
public,
that will happen.
the public thinks they're being like protected by magic or something, but it's actually these girl assassins, or I don't know. But
They
yeah,
think that Japanese culture is so strong that crime doesn't exist, but really they have these people who are taking it out before it ever happened.
Yeah. So, well, no, it also, but it also, people know about who they are and what they do. So I don't know what the secret is. I don't know, but obviously, Gunslinger Girl and fucking, there's 10 other shows I could find with the premise that, yeah, the organization that hires young girl assassins usually has some shady shit happening behind the scenes. I would like one that doesn't. It'd be cool if there was just one, or maybe what are they doing in Princess Principal? I think their guys are I think they have some secrets.
Thinking about Gunslinger Girl recently. I was thinking about how Gunslinger Girl would make a great HBO show. I feel like Gunslinger Girl would fucking rip as like a. Can you imagine, like, Western audiences? I think they would fucking dig that shit. I would love to adapt that.
That'd be a great one to adapt because it's an attention grabber. It's gonna get people talking. Girls holding guns. Yeah.
Oh, how fucking exciting would that be? Anyway, sorry. I think about that one a lot. Where like I don't necessarily adore Gunslinger Girl. I watched it a long time ago, so my my opinion of it is taken with a grain of salt. I thought it was pretty entertaining, but like just the concept itself is really, really strong. Of like you take the most unassuming person you could get, which is like a young girl, and make them a bodyguard, or an assassin, and it's like it's perfect. It's like so brain dead obvious that I think it would crush in the West. But anyway, sorry, keep going with the chorus week well.
Sure, yeah. They are so yeah, we have our main character, and then we also cut to this stand, and one of the girls gets a little too excited and mows them down with a 300-pound fucking
It's a PKM.
Yeah, PKM. Homura here, just Homura, with slightly different hair. The eyes are good. Anyway, that's what they do. Is they do good eyes, good hair. And I like her big. But she murders many gun salesmen, and then because of her MC Chisato. So yes, one is bubbly and one is serious. This is when I was having that thought, like, it's this, I don't care.
Fucking I love the dynamic. I love Chisato as a Genki but competent sort of protagonist. Rad, stamp it. Sick. Fucking great.
Like an expert, like flawless sharpshooter, but she doesn't like have the do it still, but non-lethally, and she also she keeps a positive attitude the whole time. So
she hides her own competence. She kind of masks it.
Yeah, she had so the Homer girl has all the like technical expertise, but she still has a lot to learn. We find out, so there is room there for them to actually play off each other. And then funnily enough, the voice actress for Chisato was the serious black-haired girl in Euphonium, who looks just like the other girl in the show, but she sounds exactly like Aoyuki, but isn't. The other VA is kind of a newbie. But then she gets transferred here, and it's like a cafe. Again, another thing. It's just like there's always a cafe, which is funny. And it's basically, she finds out it's like the hitman equivalent of like a cop getting demoted to like a desk job, or being like a bike cop in a zoo, where they're just like running errands. It's like when Jackie Chan gets put in that that nowhere office.
The phone bank in Super Cop. Police Story. Super Cop's a fucking completely different thing.
And so yeah, they're just like running like miscellaneous like errands for people.
Super Cop is Police Story 3.
Oh, right. I gotta say, I do love the combo of black hair and purple eyes. I do always enjoy. But then a fun story twist also is they're supposedly helping the cops with this a girl who thinks he has a stalker, but it's stalked by those big time international arms dealers because she posted a selfie with her boyfriend and thought she had a jealous stalker, but in fact she accidentally got an arms deal in the background of the shot, which is very funny. You know, even though they have been demoted to this low time, back on the same case that she flubbed on, that's this huge, big deal.
There is your hook, which is that these people who are supposed to be, quote unquote, demoted will inevitably end up at the center of whatever big happening is going on.
Yes, and that's her path back to redemption. But she's gonna, choose to stay with. She's gonna like the other girl better.
We love this. We love this. Mm-hmm. This is great. This is great stuff, baby.
And they're hanging out with the lady who's getting stalked, and Chisato's like, "Let's have a pajama party," and but then the other girl just lets her get kidnapped because like that's the most efficient way to like get things over with. But then Chisato like expertly takes them out even better by not killing them. She has some weird like gas bullets that look like they're spraying blood everywhere, but I guess aren't.
Yeah.
Maybe this airs before midnight. I don't know. And then also there's a cheeky hacker who during the botched arms deal incident, he hacked into the Gun Girl organization's computers, complete with the funny like laughing face symbol covering all of their computer monitors, Independence Day style. And his funny little symbol, how it always has the text around the outside.
Yeah.
In English, his is "I have you properly taped, my lad." A fucking James Joyce reference from the short story Grace. Yeah. Which is something that I was reading about it. It's a guy describing, because it's all about like Irish like Catholic hypocrites.
Yeah.
And he's talking about a priest who was very publicly opposed to the idea of papal infallibility.
Yeah.
Until the Pope was in favor of it, and then he was like, "All right, now I like it." And the guy in the story was talking about how he was once he saw that guy in public, and he looked him straight in the eye, and his look was as if to say, "I have you properly taped, my lad." And I don't really know what that means, but it's pretty cool. And also, the hacker has a conversation with these, evil guys in a limo from the fucking Allen Institute. That shit's real. That's a real bio research facility in Seattle, founded by a billionaire, and they're the bad guys in this show. This fucking rules.
Yeah,
they blow something up.
I don't know that other bullshit, but no, I don't know anything about that. But I'm extra sold. Thank you. Thank you for giving me more context that I was lacking. But this shit rips. This is like clearly an excellent hook, and you're gonna get what is this? 13 episodes? Yeah, you're gonna get 13 episodes of just straight up hitting episodic content with maybe like a loose serialized narrative. Love it. Thank you, A1.
And like they also have to be like waitresses at the cafe. So like,
of course,
she has a stoic girl practicing her like her welcome Goshujin-sama, and they turn around and it's the fucking guy from the limo. So
what a fucking great hook! God damn, it reminds
me of like It reminds me of like something like that the index guy would write, or it's like it's just all there's no fat.
It's the spiciest development is always happening. It's like whatever
Yeah.
the like. Okay, here are the grounds in which the story is being told, and they just always know what button to push to get the most drama out of it. And like it never even for a second would have occurred to me that motherfucker would be walking in the door. God
it's like we're not gonna meet him again for he's always gonna be in some control room or in some limo talking to some guy, and then maybe they'll meet it. He'll talk with another secondary character, but no, he just walks right the fuck up to him at the end of the first episode.
Perfect.
Like, thank you. Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of like do Rob would do stuff like that. That's a show that really knows how to pull the strings. Where you're like, why the fuck is this person here right now? Another show that was good at that, a Western TV show, Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is great at that, where you're like, wait a second, how the fuck, why is this person here? What could that mean?
Yeah.
But
I love like skipping just to that's part of the thing, like the finale of the latest season of Kaguya. It's like, how like high school rom-coms just fucking go on like forever.
Yeah.
And it's like they never fucking end because the author doesn't want them to end. Hidamari Sketch, well, it's not a rom-com, and there's also only like one chapter a year, but they've been in high school for 15, 16 fucking years. They're third years now, and they're just going to be third years forever. In fucking Kaguya, they're second years, and the guy they're both working on trying to get the other one to confess to them, and the guy just hits her with, I'm skipping a grade, I'm actually going to Stanford in like 6 months.
Oh.
They're just skipping a year, just like we're ending this shit now. Like it's awesome. It's so ballsy.
You know what I just heard about recently was because of obviously her. So like J.K. Rowling wrote them Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
And obviously has come under fire in recent years for reasons. And I heard recently about
boy, them blokes don't be having pussies, don't they?
Her new series, which is the Comoran Strike series, or like it's like the first book's The Cuckoo's Calling. Apparently, those are like just like unbelievably excellent mystery stories that like nobody talks about because of
unbelievably excellent according to people who love Harry Potter, or like
no people who like Harry Potter don't like her anymore.
Well, because but I mean, are these like YA fiction people?
No.
Okay.
No, this is like hard. This is like hard crime kind of material and shit.
Damn.
I'll read the first one and let you know. But I was listening to that recently. People talk about this and just how it's like excellently executed examples of like what we were just talking about, of like knowing the exact dramatic chord to strike at the exact right time to like have the perfect hook, to keep pulling you along, and how like it's impossible to put them down.
Oh yeah, she was always good at page turners.
Exactly, and like it reminds me of that, of like the final, scene of the episode is like the ultimate like, how the fuck are you not going to watch the next episode after that?
Yeah, exactly. That's how you end an episode.
Great work. Give me. I'm gonna go get one more drink, and then I'll be far too drunk to talk about Shoot Gold into the Future.
Okay. I like their maid outfits too. Let's check on Everybody Place Your Bets. Is Shinzo Abe alive? Let's see. Okay. Critical condition. That's not great.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't say fanny instead of pussy when you were impersonating a British person. That's a little lame. But
fuck, you're right.
Yeah, you missed the opportunity. But what are we talking about? You want to do Shoot first, or you want to talk about other stuff you watched?
Talk about Shoot.
I'm going to shoot all over the place. So,
Wait, who's this? Is she in this show? What is this? Mahutskaya. What is, huh? Why did it skip to... Am I sorting by... What am I sorting by? Oh, I need to sort by date modified. There we go. Yeah. All right. Okay, what's up with shooting?
So this is a collab between EMT Squared and Magic Bus. Those are the people working on this project here.
Or at least Magic Bus is. Didn't Magic Bus do... They did like Destiny of the Shrine Maiden or something.
Here, let's find out. Yeah. So anyway,
I already got it. It doesn't even fucking matter, dude.
Shoot Goal to the Future.
Any of these? Is that it?
Now I don't know anything about what apparently are the series that come before this. I did not know that this was a sequel until about 16 minutes into the episode. That's when I'm like, oh.
I thought it was a reboot. Oh, okay. Yeah, it had a series in 93 and 94 that was like 58 episodes, but I just assumed they were rebooting it because obviously, who the fuck? No.
This is a direct sequel.
Oh, well. I made you watch that. This should have been disqualified.
Two which clearly can be consumed as standalone. Based on the way that this works, like it's fine that I watch this.
Oh, Mad Bull 34, Magic Bus.
Nice. So, okay, where do I begin on this? So there's a boy. They do these sort of metaphors of soccer to video games. So like this main character clearly has a traumatic incident that occurred in his past where he was a soccer boy, and then his soccer boyfriend ended up leaving to go to a different school, and that traumatized him because after his friend left, he was no longer good at soccer. And he carries with him the trauma of no longer being good at soccer into every aspect of his life. He thinks of himself as a loser. He thinks of the world as being full of losers. He plays video games and gets dogged on by the people he plays with for being a loser. And he goes to school and lives like a PTSD flashback of like, so he sees a soccer event occurring on the soccer pitch, as it were. And he talks about how the team sucks now, and that it used to be this great team in the previous series. Aoki Densetsu Shoot, which is the film, and then there's Shoot Arata no Naru Densetsu.
Oh yeah.
So at one point, the school had a great soccer team, 30 or 40 years ago, and now it's close to the point where they're going to shut down the soccer team because it's so shitty. And
the school has never done.
They're like, we hate kids being in athletics, but so. The team's so shitty that they're going to shut down. He's kind of like there's a sort of grinning, smug, older individual who's observing the game and being like, "Oh, so this boy knows about the soccer then."
Oh God, we had this same show like last season. I remember this.
Of course,
they were on the beach. Oh,
so
that was even the same sport. I think that was fucking soccer.
So he's like, oh, and then he watches as the team loses, and then he's in class with he starts laughing as they're losing because he's ruminating on his own experiences, and one of the players sees him laughing and then confronts him later in the day, like bully style, pins him in like a corner of the school as another kid's looking on. You remember in Evangelion when that shit be happening. Same thing happening here.
Oh yeah,
the classic, the trope, and. He's like, why are you laughing at us? We're trying to play soccer. He's like, I wasn't laughing at you. You wouldn't understand. And it gets broken up, of course. And then the smiling, smug man confronts him, and he's like, you played soccer at one point, didn't you? He just can tell based on the fact that this guy's watching the soccer game that he used to play soccer. And it's reached a point where other teams won't even scrimmage with them for practice because they're so bad. And then the smiling smug man takes on the role as coach for this team, and the protagonist is like out on the pitch when this is happening. Like the other team ends up showing up because the smiling smug man called them to be like, you need to come play soccer against us.
Oh,
They've
Magic
reached
Bus did Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I forgot about that.
So it reaches a head where the protagonist is set up the situation where he's going to score to prove that he hates soccer. He's going to score goals on the goalie, I guess. Where he's like, if I score these goals, you have to leave me alone forever. So he scores 6 goals in a row, and that's in front. It's in front of the other team that's showing up now because the smiling smug man called the other team.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the boy that left him that caused him all the soccer trauma, he's on this other team that just showed up, and he's like, Shuto, because his nickname was Shoot. And he's like,
Genius.
Shuto, is that you? And he's in a position now where he's being confronted with the trauma from his past and the reality of his present. And the smiling smug man's like, you're gonna end up playing soccer because you can't put the trauma behind you until you play it. I've done this sounds like a terrible summation of what occurred. I assure you, this is almost 1-to-1 on what happens in the course of the program.
Oh no, I believe it.
You did not watch the Shoot Goal to the Future.
No, I was planning on having you and David watch it. David's a little busy.
He's a little busy
working
17 hours a day learning how to start and stop.
That leaves 7, motherfucker. Okay, you don't have to stare at the nuclear buttons all day. Okay, you'll have a few seconds before they enter the stratosphere, before the EMP hits us. It'll be fine.
So he was telling me the other day about he was telling me about how he's like, I just shut down a nuclear reactor earlier today, and it was pretty bad. It was like he
was he told to, or was he just like, let's see what this button does?
Well, it was part of his classes that he had to start and shut down. He's actually starting up the reactor, and he knows how to do it. He knows how to do it, but before he does it, he has to explain to everybody present what is going to occur. And that was the thing that tripped him up, was explaining to everybody in real time exactly what he was doing. That was the thing that gave him a really hard time, is that because he had planned on studying, but the group before him had done so poorly that they bounced him in like a couple of minutes. So he went from having 4 hours to prepare on exactly how to articulate what he was doing to being jumped right into it. So he had to, on the top of his head, explain exactly how he was doing all this complex nuclear shit, and it didn't do a very good job, but he passed. So, which is crazy to me.
The group before him fucked up so bad that they cleared up 4 hours. Does it take that long?
Yes.
Oh my god, what?
That's
crazy.
You know what's even fucking crazier to me is how can you be? The concept of passing and failing. You get a D and you passed.
Yeah.
How are you able to graduate medical school just passing? How the fuck can you get a medical degree not getting a 100%? Or I love David. How is David able to get through being a nukie with a nuke as they're known? How is he able to become a nuke and not getting 100%? Not that I don't. I mean, I would love for him to be able to do this for the rest of his time in the Navy, but how do you not get 100% and that be acceptable when you're dealing with nuclear technology? I don't understand.
Hey, I mean, either the thing starts up or it doesn't. That sounds like a binary. That's same with medicine. Guy's alive, guy's not alive. Does he have a fucking spoon in him? Then you're good. I mean, you
my error would be a lot narrower. I think we're relying on these people, and obviously he did it. He just didn't do an excellent job of explaining the mechanics behind it. It's very perplexing to me. Where he's like, I'm passing, and I've got a decent buffer, but I could easily, I'm passing, but in a realm that would be I could fail out if I fucked a couple of things out. It's the idea that you could be close to failing out for an entire program learning how to be a nuclear technician is crazy.
Yeah, that's not good. Like people are always like nuclear is so much safer, but it's like everyone is getting less competent at everything in every field. Our standards are being lowered across the board. Like you're fucking you do not want to live anywhere near a ticking bomb. Like they're like, coal mines kill more people. It's like, yeah, but you have to go inside the coal mine to die from a coal mine. A nuclear reactor could render your entire state uninhabitable for 1,000,000 years.
At
And
the same time,
people
it's
don't
like,
even know how to drive. Like we don't know how to drive like a Navy vessels anymore. They keep crashing them. They crashed like 30 fucking 30 US naval fucking boats like in 1 year, and just like won't explain why, and like they don't know how to repair the fighter jets. Like the manuals got lost and no one knows how any of this shit works. I've explained how like we don't really know how to make like computer chips or processors correctly, so we're just kind of brute forcing through problems with more horsepower. It's not good.
well, I'm like, I'm the opposite. I'm the glass half full guy, and that I think it's a testament to the safety of these things that there have only been two noteworthy meltdowns. Where it's like, imagine it's like
almost. Does 3 Mile Island count? That was a close one.
I know I know a guy who was one of the guys I used to work with, and I'm working with now in my movie. He was one of the lead actors in my movie, actually. He was one of the guys that was like, he was at a nuclear missile silo and would do, I think, 24-hour shifts of being the guy that would turn the key. If they had to launch a nuclear missile, and he was like,
that's the job everyone talks about, where it's like, you just play Donkey Kong all day and you just
that is exactly, dude. This guy,
Yeah.
I fuck like
Yeah.
he's the
just
most
listen
normal.
to audiobooks and
He's like, he's got 2 kids and a wife, and he just lives in like suburbia. And I'll talk to him about it. He's like, oh yeah, like I played all of the Dragon Quest games. I played all the Final Fantasy games.
Yes.
I played. It was a great game with Secret of Mana. Like,
I was just gonna say Secret of Mana.
Dude, he's like fucking like deep. Like, and the thing is, it's like there's no hint because it's all he had to do. So like he's seen all these movies. He's played all these video games because it's the only thing you can do to keep yourself sane.
All of fucking Dragoon. What's
Panzer Dragoon? I swear to God, like all of these things, like and he's so normal. It's
all the
crazy.
Draken guards. Yeah.
And he just knows all of these fucking really long fucking JRPG games because he's like an intelligent guy. But also had so much time on his hands. It's not like he could just read the entire time, So like he fucking would just dump himself into these 120-hour long JRPGs because he's like, he would have been, it would have been the late 90s was when he was doing this, So like it's all like PlayStation 1 and early, late SNES stuff. I'll pick his brain a little bit more and come back with some more stories. He's an awesome guy. I love him.
That's
whenever I work with him and I'm like paying for his meals or whatever, every single trip I'm like, what do you want today? He's like, you can just give me some Taco Bell. And every single time I'm getting what was his last order? He had 3. His last order, he knows the numbers on the Taco Bell menu, and he's like, I want. The one he listed off to me was like, he's like, yeah, it's 3 soft shell tacos and a fucking Baja Blast or whatever. It's such a great guy. Anyway, sorry, I love that man. He's a terrific person.
Yeah, what the hell were we talking about before that?
Gay soccer.
Gay soccer. Yeah, looking at the screenshots for the show, it looks like it was like animated at a weird low resolution. Looks like
it looks like shit.
Make it retro or something, but then some of them just kind of look like shit. Was it entertaining?
No.
Okay.
Didn't like it. It's pretty bad. It's ugly, and then it like shows art from the previous pieces of media that are obviously superior. So like I'm just like, nope, bad. Don't give me that to compare to. We want to talk about bad shit.
Oh, come now.
You just like the girls.
Yeah, I like some of them. I love regional goofs and gags. I love the Tsukomi. I love the bokeh. Yeah, Teppen. I don't know if I'm quite giving that enough oomph because it has many exclamation marks. But it's a manga. Studio Drive, who did To Your Eternity and Vlad Love, which I don't really remember, but the name kind of sounds familiar. There's some kind of competition. I thought this was another idol show. Oh boy, was I wrong. Oh.
These are the people apparently animating the Uzumaki adaptation.
Which one's Uzumaki?
Which it's not a bad looking thing necessarily. Uzumaki's the Junji Ito manga.
Okay.
DDR, you know.
Oh yeah. DDR. And then the intro starts up, and I'm like, oh, it's not just singing, bro. We got raping. We got hardcore raping. Expert fast raper. And then our three of our girls get on stage, and their names all start with Y, and that's like their group name is like YYY or something. And then I was like, is this the intro they're doing before they start singing? And then I went, oh no, it's not singing.
They're not going to sing at all.
It's Japanese comedy. No.
Ay, qué horrible. Muy malo. Ay.
Dios mío. Mi amor.
The most nefarious and maligned of all of the Japanese art styles. The Japanese comedy.
The cellulose on the ass of the most beautiful woman on earth that is Japan, their comedy.
They're just complete inability to do any. They're like, you know what makes stand up better? Two people. They fucking just.
How about three people? What if one's silly and one's not silly?
What the fuck is the name of this kind of comedy
Manzai.
again? Oh my god, brutal.
Not enjoyable to anyone but them. I don't even know if they enjoy it. Maybe like anyone who's like cool in Japan is just like, yeah, no, this shit fucking sucks. Like,
that being said, you know what
like
Manzai is good for? It's good for cultivating talent to be on their TV shows, because really it's all about getting on a panel on something. Like so on which is really where this stuff works. It's like
getting on radio, like those guys in Odd Taxi.
I really enjoyed Terrace House, and two of the guys on Terrace House are these kind of comedians. But like that's an element where they have something to work off of, rather than just telling each other very unfunny stories, very unfunny sort of O. Henry like stories.
Yeah, it's like Manzai is like the bokeh. The source of the comedy is not the joke, it's how fast the funny one responds to the stupid thing that the other guy says. So it's really all just about speed. And maybe there's puns going on. I wouldn't know that shit. If there were puns, would that make it funny? I have my doubts. I'm sorry. I'm usually a big.
I'll tell you.
I usually trust me. If there's anyone who gives Japan the benefit of the doubt in all, let's say, historical things that maybe have been a bit exaggerated.
Yeah, if you were to look back into some acts that may or may not have occurred that potentially could have resulted in some alleged brutal violence and horrendous actions, there maybe,
I'll be the
those
first.
might have been. This is indefensible.
One.
This is indefensible, though.
Yeah, no, this is there's no way this is funny, even if you speak
this
shit.
Is the worst thing that they've ever done in the last 100 years, and
it is cute girls doing it though, which kind of it's not like it's painful to watch, but it's just like I don't. It's and their eyes are a little too far apart. Something's weird with the designs. Also, not a cell phone game, but you get like 8 or 9 minutes in and you're like, all right, we are officially at way too many characters. We got too many characters now. Why do we have all these? And some of them are shopping for beans. Some of them are drinking tea. One's a muscle girl. They have a bodybuilding black manager / caretaker who flexes and wears a penguin apron. That's could be funny. They didn't really do anything with him in this first episode. There's a bit where they're trying to fix this statue like award that the head broke off, and all it did was remind me of a funnier bit from the Goonies where they break the penis off the statue of David, and the kid, he's got his mouth full of chips, and it's subtitled so you can understand him. He goes, you think your mom's gonna notice? And little Sean Astin goes, of course she's gonna notice. She notices everything. And that's like, I always say that because that's such a good, like, because it is true that moms like just notice everything. You can never just hope that your mom's not gonna fucking notice something unless it's something that's unimportant. I always love that scene. My mom's most favorite piece. So yeah, we meet all these girls. I like the girl with the big, voluminous, puffy, wavy, dark hair. Yeah, we have the fancy tea girls. What?
I like the fancy cheer girls the best. That's a great. I honestly think that's a pretty funny bit where they're like confronted with the fact it's like, you built an entire mansion here. It's like, were we not supposed to do that?
They built like a lair, and then one is so obsessed with gold that she tries to get the gold flakes off of what's his face, and she jumps on him.
I liked those girls.
I think I was nodding off at that point, so I vaguely remember it, but yeah, that was probably a little funny. And then they have jokes about different regions of Japan, and other stuff. Too many characters. Some of these sound like non-voice actors. I'm not going to look them up because I don't care that much, but I think they might have gotten, like, are they real comedians? Are they actresses? Are they, I don't know. They might not be anime voice ladies because they sound, I could tell they're either new or they're, I don't know, something's going on. But there's goofs, there's gags. All my notes go up to 11 minutes in, so I think I might have actually fallen asleep. I don't think there was much.
I'm like extremely close to being like a genuine Western golden god. I'm like, my body fat content is genuinely starting to get pretty low right now, and my tan is like getting to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we really should next time we should go to Okinawa. I think we should go to Okinawa and we should try to get bitches.
Dude, your tan is not going to. They will laugh at your pathetic white man tan.
No. This is a thick golden layer that I have generated here, and if nothing else, they'll be utterly astounded by my height and my stature, my broad.
We've been over this, but the Okinawans not crazy about Americans because of the bases, because of the Marines.
I guess they're constantly exposed to big shredded boys.
Yeah, who are very like aggressive and drunk. Yeah, just buzzing.
I could be that too.
Buzzing their little shrimp shacks with F-15s.
I had something I was going to go into that I seem to have lost it.
Blowing their natto all over the beach.
Excuse me.
Blowing their calorie mates into their faces.
Oh my god! Don't talk to me about calorie mate right now.
Oh, the almond ones.
I want them. Oh my god! I wonder if they got them in a little Asian supermarket near me. I should look.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be tough.
Oh fucking! I loved them so much though.
Korean.
I really like to. Sometimes I just think about watching my Buffalo Bills play football while on the Shinkansen. That's one of my favorite experiences. It's so stupid, but like just the novelty of being halfway across the world, and or I guess all the way across the world, and watching Buffalo Bills get dick down while drinking. It was like while drinking alcohol I bought at a gas station.
Sure.
It was a terrific experience.
Nice.
Anyway.
Anyways, that's kind of it for that show.
Yeah, I wasn't moved.
You weren't moved to hysterics.
I would love to be on fucking to go back to the Manzai performers. I would love to go on to fucking Terrace House and not know a lick of Japanese. Like just like go in there with the little bit I've learned from Duolingo and because like they don't kick people off on that show. People choose to leave. So I could probably just ride the entire season not knowing any Japanese
You
at
just gotta
all.
get in, yeah.
There's like one guy in the seasons that I watch. This one guy just played PlayStation 4 the entire time, and it's like that's amazing. That's amazing. And he would he would occasionally be told by other people, it's like you should try talking to the girls here. He's like, oh so, and he would go get rejected by one, and then immediately go play PlayStation 4 again. It was awesome. Yeah, I would love to do
that. Yes. Okay. Fuck that shit. Strike Witches, baby.
Go ahead.
It's back. It's back. The long-awaited Luminous Witches. The one that got delayed for like a year so Shaft could get it right. And I guess it's an idol show. Yeah, it's a spin-off. Spin-off witches. These ones have animals, and there's more leg wear than I would be happy with, but I still enjoyed it. It's not directed by Shinbo. It is Shaft. It's director Shoujo Saiki, who's a big 2000s Gainax guy. So from the old days of Shaft's collabs with Gainax, he worked on Maharomatic. He worked on Fooly Cooly, Ugly a Beautiful World, He Is My Master, Pleiades.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Idols, but then it starts out in just straight up Dunkirk. But it's like I guess even in alternate universe, alternate history, World War II, Dunkirk still happened the same way. Pretty funny. All the countries have like different flags and like slightly different names, but there was still just Dunkirk. And yeah, this is alternate history. It's very hard hitting, very fascinating, and we meet some of our girls. There's a clumsy Japanese timid one who has to be the main character because that's Strike Witch's baby, and their animals fight each other, and they fucking go to music camp or something to be magic music witches, and it's hey, guess what? It's still great. I was like, there's no way this one can also be great. It's still great. I didn't even finish that third season of Strike Witches. That was really good. I gotta watch the rest of that shit. It's all good.
I don't like it when girls sing.
Yeah, well, okay, but at least there's music. They didn't sing a cappella.
But dangerously close to girls just singing, and you know how I feel about that.
But they have cute outfits and they're dancing while they sing.
I'm cautious. I've been hurt. I've been hurt before.
By what?
My family.
Your family danced and sang for you? They tried to make you an idol?
No, I was abused physically.
Oh, you've just been hurt in general, not by
this
specific
not really relevant. But,
Oh yeah, you just have general trauma from being raped.
I didn't say that, you sicko.
Oh, you implied it. I mean, you didn't get into the specifics, so I thought it was some some
No,
very
it's a
nasty, gross
misunderstanding. It's a
bedroom shit.
misunderstanding where I was my dad thought I was in harm's way, so he grabbed me by the wrist, but I was actually completely fine and it hurt. So that was when he hurt me.
And that's why you don't like listening to girls sing.
There was a girl singing at the time. No, yeah. This was a little. I wasn't immediately compelled. I don't have the sort of feelings towards the general Strike Witches franchise that you have.
You just don't like history. You want to see
That's
it all happen again.
that's true.
I know
Yeah.
your type. You just don't think it's important. You're like, why
There are
study?
certain things I
Why
wanna
study
see.
a bunch of dead white men? Why study a bunch of dead teenage girls with no pants on? Why do we even need to know this shit? I need to know how to do my taxes. Why don't you teach us how to fucking paint a wall? Why don't you teach us how to build a deck? Why do we need to know what a bunch of fucking men wrote about putting jet engines on girls' legs 80 years ago? Why
There's
do
a
we even need to
stuff
know
that
that?
happened. There's a bunch of stuff that happened in history that was really funny that I would like to see happen again. There was that time that,
You're like, yeah, why are we so obsessed with why are we assuming that history repeating itself is bad? What if some awesome stuff happens again?
there was that time that a goat took over Rome. That was pretty good.
I don't think that happened. I think you made
There was
that up.
that-
Are you talking
was,
about Caligula making his horse a senator?
No. There was the time that
Wait,
the
Caligula?
entirety of Northern Ireland had to be lifted out of the sea. That was pretty funny. What else was going on?
These are just G.I. Joe episodes. This
Yeah,
is not-
well, I didn't want to say it explicitly. That's the real history that they want to obscure from us. Was that when Snake Eyes actually assassinated JFK? That shit was too lit. We couldn't handle it.
There was that time when Stalin got the highest score in Frogger, but he didn't want to unplug the machine, so he wheeled it across the street.
There was a great bottle episode when Richard Nixon and Castro were stuck on a boat together, and they kind of hashed out their differences. I thought that was really funny, because at first they think that it's like you're a capitalist and I'm a communist. We can't possibly have anything in common. But by the end of the episode, they had reached a new mutual understanding that they want the same things. That was pretty funny. There was the one where Gilligan he used coconuts to make a radio. I thought that was pretty good. Klinger, he dressed like a lady to get out of the military. These were funny things that happened that I think should happen again. Lucy she was working at the chocolate factory and she couldn't box them fast enough. She just started to eat the chocolate. I like that too.
Yeah. When Jake and Josh had that big house party, people kept showing up.
That was crazy. See, that was funny.
So fucking wild, dude.
That's the premise of that. Have you ever seen Galaxy Quest?
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest is a great movie. I love that thing. That movie's funny as fuck. I caught about 30 minutes of I've seen Galaxy Quest a couple times, but I was in a hotel, and when I'm in a hotel, I like flipping through the channels just to see what's going on. It's usually baseball and shit.
Yeah.
But they had Galaxy Quest on, and I popped on. It was like the very beginning of the movie, and I sat through I was supposed to be going to bed, but it was like I probably sat through about 30 or 40 minutes of Galaxy Quest. I'm like, God damn, this movie's so good. That's a ripper right there. Galaxy Quest should happen again. That was really funny.
Yeah. When Zim made that time machine and kept throwing toy pigs at different parts of what's his face's life to make him a deformed monster.
That was funny.
That was fucking very good, and I hope that happens again in history.
Yeah.
And dig.
When that little boy put his finger in that dam to stop it from overflowing, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. when Jamiroquai made all that furniture move in that room. That was cool.
You remember when the aliens invaded and then Tom Cruise had to get his dysfunctional family complete with his older son and a younger daughter out of New York City? And then they got out of the city, but then the aliens were out. They were on the road to Boston too. So the son went off to fight the aliens, and then the daughter was stuck by Tom Cruise. And then they
that was the other thing. That was the other thing. Spielberg was clearly like shamelessly incorporating was like Iraq stuff, 9/11 stuff.
Oh sure. Oh yeah.
But it kind of worked actually. I was like, oh, this is sad. Remember when fucking actual real zombies came out of the ground and Michael Jackson danced with them?
That was pretty crazy.
That was so fucking wild, dude. All right, we
Some
gotta
people don't talk about that shit enough.
No one talks about.
We need to talk about.
This. I was thinking about the Investigate 9/11 guy. I love that guy so much because like he genuinely like he spent a long time thinking like you know what no one ever fucking mentions. Remember when that shit happened? That was crazy. They destroyed like 2 whole buildings. Why is no one talking about this?
I think you know what? There's apparently this like guy who does you know how there used to be like horror hosts. You know, you used to have like
yeah.
Apparently, there's a guy Svengoolie is the name of the guy who does one right now, and apparently his show is pretty watchable. God damn, I would love to be at a place in my life where I'm catching like every whatever day I'm watching Svengoolie present some sort of black and white creature feature movie. What a great time that would be. Doesn't that sound good?
That does sound pretty good.
Not really funny and not necessarily like a historical thing, but you know. He's on MeTV. It's free. Nice.
Ooh. Yeah.
Anyway,
we have
you
to
like the girls?
Stop. I very much like the girls. Even the animals. Pretty cute. Yes, I'm looking forward to more girls. Even though even the CG, what are you gonna do? There's like a lot of girls. That's part one.
Yeah, part one of. I mean, there's a lot of shit that came out this season. There's a lot.
Yeah. So, well, I'm not as busy, and I'm not as I'm not lying face down in my bed just in some kind of weird episode of despair caused by something I ate or something. So
yeah,
we're back on fire, baby. It's coming at you. Part 2 soon. Which show had the funny rap? It was
Tepen.
Tepen, yes.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go by like Sunday early next week. I'm going to be a little busy for a few days, but we'll see.
Perfect. And I know what you love even better than girls singing, and that's girls rapping, tapping, rapping.
Hit me with those bars.
Hitting mad beats. Fuck it. I'm not gonna say anything else.